Hello, my friend. I'm so excited to dive into this week's podcast episode for you on this week's astrology. Oh my goodness, this is a big week in 2025. In this week's episode, I'll be diving deep into the transits of this week for you. I will also chat about if you're feeling behind in life, how to shift your perspective on this. I will then end off this podcast episode with a tarot reading of what energy to embrace, what energy to let go of. So let's just dive right into it. All right, so starting off with July 4th. This is going to be a surprising day. Venus meets up with Uranus this day in the sign of Taurus, and they're both at 29 degrees. This is a critical degree, meaning that it is an extreme degree. It's a more intense energy. And this is all about expecting the unexpected, especially when it comes to money, food, finance, art, real estate, comfort, environment. This is going to be a day where you could suddenly get an unexpected surprise. Maybe you find money on the street. Perhaps you get a surprising gift of food from someone. Perhaps you just realize you have to change something in terms of your home environment. This is a really interesting day. This could also look like you getting some breakthroughs around your money mindset, or you're realizing your values have changed in some way. Perhaps you're realizing maybe I don't care so much about this particular thing that I'm paying a lot of money for, and I want to change this and invest in something else, maybe a course, maybe another program instead of what you're currently spending that money on. This is a huge possibility. This is a very insightful day, so get excited, get ready for this. I do think we're going to get some really interesting surprises this day. Some will be amazing and some not so much, but ultimately this day will help you get some more perspective on your values and what that means for you. Later this day, Venus enters the sign of Gemini. And Venus is the planet of values. It's how we show love and affection. So in the sign of Gemini, we're going to be really focused on our friendships, our local community. We're going to be craving more conversations with people, having a sounding board, words of affirmation. This is going to be a really big shift that you might notice. Wherever Gemini is in your chart, you're going to get this lovely boost of energy. So check to see where Gemini is in your chart. I will say this energy is a lot more fun and flirty, especially for love and dating. You could just feel like you want to have more fun. You could just feel as though you want to be more playful or go to more creative dates in the sense of perhaps going to a board game cafe. That would be a great idea for this. It's more so having this energy of being curious about your partner and being curious about the people you go on dates with. What's also happening this day is Neptune is turning retrograde in the sign of Aries. This can feel like a shock. So not only do we have Venus meeting up with Uranus this day, which can already lead to a bit of shock and surprise, Neptune going retrograde feels like an illusion is being shattered for you. So you might be hit with reality this day, especially when it comes to political leaders, especially when it comes to you in terms of how you see yourself and your identity. Maybe you're realizing something about yourself and how you take action on certain situations and what you might need to change based on this. This looks like, okay, there's more to do with improving your self-concept, how you believe in yourself, how you are hyping yourself up, how you are picturing that image of the ideal version of yourself. And I'm saying this not so much as you having to strive for constant growth. This is more so you wanting to be your favorite version of yourself and realizing that there might be some gaps in terms of this, and this can feel as though, okay, I didn't realize I was doing this. Now I need to change this approach. Perhaps this is you self-sabotaging in some way and you're realizing, okay, never mind, I need to message back my friends a bit faster than a few weeks, for example. And you're realizing this and you're trying to change your actions based on this. Maybe perhaps not right away, because Neptune is the planet of illusion. It's the planet of spirituality. It is the planet of fogginess and murkiness, but also our perception. So this is actually going to be really helpful for you. I want you to keep this in mind. It can feel a little bit disappointing. It can feel like if you are perhaps going on some dates with someone, maybe you're realizing something about them that shatters those rose-colored glasses that you have of them. This is just one example, because Neptune likes to dream. Neptune wants you to stay in this beautiful dreamland, to imagine, to create. However, the retrograde wants you to reassess what this looks like for you, especially when it comes to how you see yourself, your identity, and how you're taking action, because it's in the sign of Aries. Moving on to July 6th, we have Venus in Gemini in a sextile to Saturn and Neptune in Aries. This feels fun. I will say the 6th feels a lot more fun, a lot more supportive. This looks like you potentially having a conversation with a friend or your local community and trying to structure something in a different way. You could feel like you're having more support, especially with that sextile to Saturn. Maybe you're realizing, okay, this is an event that I love to go to. I want to go to more of these events in my local community, for example. Or this could be you having a really good conversation with a close friend and really valuing them, and it just feels as though it's nourishing your soul. You're realizing, okay, this is helping me dream bigger with how I want to perceive myself with that sextile to Neptune. So this is honestly a really, really helpful, supportive day. I feel like this day is going to be a lot more fun. It's going to feel as though you could have some really, really good conversations with close friends, siblings, your local community. This honestly looks as though you're feeling more supported and you're starting to value what you are creating for yourself, especially those systems and structures. Maybe this is you scheduling out more time to spend with close friends or to go to more local events, or you scheduling in that time to do something more creative and more spiritual, like going to a yoga class or going to a painting class. Now, those are the major transits of this week. However, I want to dive deep into Uranus moving into the sign of Gemini next week on the 7th. This is huge, okay? This is huge because with Uranus entering Gemini, this is one of the major transits of 2025. We haven't experienced Uranus and Gemini since 1949. So it's been a long time. The last time Uranus was in Gemini was from 1941 to 1949. Uranus approximately changes signs every 7 years. So when we think of this, this will be a transit that we experience for quite a few years. It is very slow moving. However, I do think you're going to really feel a shift in energy. And I do want to give you a heads up on this energy. There's still some beautiful, beautiful qualities of this transit, yet there's also this dark side of Uranus and Gemini. I will say that if you're an Aquarius rising, pay attention to Uranus moving into Gemini, because your modern day ruler is Uranus. My personal experience is I usually tend to look at traditional rulership. However, I still think it's very interesting to witness modern day rulers and what they can teach us, how we can understand what that planet is trying to teach us. So Aquarius risings, listen up, really understand that this is going to shift a lot for you in terms of your focus in the next 7 years. Now, Uranus is the planet of unexpected insight. It is a genius type of energy. Uranus wants you to expect the unexpected, and it is a planet of revolution. It's a planet of vast advancement in terms of technology, and it's a planet where you're trying to go against the grain. You're trying to do things differently. When we consider Uranus in this way, it is the planet of shock and surprise too, I should mention that. Yet if we consider Uranus in this way, think about Uranus moving into the sign of Gemini. Gemini is the sign of the twins. There's this duality to Gemini. There is going to be this shock and surprise when it comes to our communication styles, what that looks like for us. I really see this as us really getting into some more advanced technology, especially social platforms, because Gemini is such a social sign. It's also going to be really important for our communication. So we're going to see this mass advancement when it comes to our technology. And we're already witnessing this with Pluto in Aquarius. So with Uranus in Gemini, also joining Pluto in Aquarius, they're making a very supportive aspect, by the way. This is going to really change things for us when it comes to our community, our conversations, our communication, how we're approaching connecting with one another. Now, I want to talk a bit about the dark side of Uranus and Gemini. The dark side of Uranus and Gemini is a lot of misinformation. You're going to feel as though there's going to be so many types of communication styles or platforms that it's going to be harder to focus in some capacity, depending on where this is hitting your chart specifically as well. I am going to be releasing your Uranus and Gemini horoscopes very soon. It might be out by the time of this recording. So if you are on the VIP membership, you're going to get those horoscopes. And this is going to be an interesting 7 years because Uranus and Gemini, I will say, we're going to start to see a bit of the dark side of this energy. Now, not only is the dark side of Uranus and Gemini misinformation, but it can be divide. When we think of Gemini as a sign, there is this duality. So if we go to that extreme, it can feel as though, okay, it's me versus another person, right? So I want you to really consider this because the beautiful benefits of Uranus and Gemini energy is understanding how we're connected, is wanting that connection. It's wanting to communicate and express yourself and really listening to your curiosity about other people. Yet, the dark side of this for people who may potentially not be able to access this compassion or empathy, or may fall into tendencies where this is not present in their life, is really reacting quite poorly to othering other people. This can cause strain. The last time Uranus was in Gemini was during World War II. I do want to put that into perspective. This is not to scare you, yet astrology is recognizing patterns. So it's best for us to be prepared for what's to come in the next few years. Now, of course, that is scary to think about. Yet what's good to note is there's still some beautiful things that came out when Uranus was last in Gemini. And that was the founding of the UN, the United Nations. And that was needed. That was created out of necessity because of World War II. And it's understanding why we need certain rules, why we need certain restrictions, why we need to create structure to protect more people. how we can understand what is necessary and needed in humanity. So humanity itself is coming into question with this transit because not only will Uranus be in Gemini, it is making this very supportive aspect to Pluto in Aquarius. So I do think we're going to see at least a bit of this benefit of more people coming together, more protests happening to support more communities, to fight for what we believe in. And just another reminder, sometimes things can get into dark places so that we can see the light, so that we can know, okay, we need to stand up even more. We need to fight for what's right. We need to speak out and come together and really see why it's important for us to fight back in the best possible way for our rights and other people's rights, because we're all connected. Now, what I'm most looking forward to this transit is it's a great, great energy for brainstorming, for new ideas. There is this excitement with Uranus and Gemini where we're trying to come up with how can we solve more problems? How can we connect these issues together and do things differently and see what are the possibilities of solving these issues? So I really feel like with both Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini, this is going to change things for us in a huge, huge way. So get ready for this. And again, Uranus will be in Gemini until November 7th, 2025. It will go retrograde and enter Taurus again. However, it will go back into Gemini in 2026, and we're going to see the transit of Uranus in Gemini until 2033. So be prepared and really focus on what is working with this energy and what is supportive with this energy. And you'll get those horoscopes very soon. Now, for this week's topic, I want to focus on feeling behind in life and just having a conversation on this because I know how difficult it could feel. I've been feeling that myself too, to be quite honest, to be quite vulnerable. I've been feeling just the sense of not expecting things to look a certain way and having some disappointment in terms of expectations. So I want us to have this conversation to shift your perspective. So if you've been feeling behind in life, you've been feeling as though maybe you don't have that house, you don't have the kids, you don't have a partner, you don't have the job you want, whatever that may be. Maybe you have everything and that's amazing. And I'm actually super, super impressed. So I love that for you. Yet, if you've been feeling as though things have been slow for you, you feel like you've been pushing through, it's been hard for you to reach a goal. It's been hard for you to receive what you want to receive. I want to share my personal experience in case it helps you and how I am personally reframing this for myself. Because let me tell you, it's been interesting for me to really witness for myself. And to be honest, I don't want to spend every episode really sharing my past experiences because those can be very helpful. Those were good learning experiences, but sometimes I want to share what I'm currently experiencing to know that you're not alone in this mentality or this process. And what is really important to note with this energy, where maybe you're not where you want to be in your career, in your business, maybe you're not making the sales you want, maybe you are not realizing, okay, how can I not find this partner yet? What is happening for me? I want you to take a deep breath. Like just breathe. And just be calm and remind yourself that you can stay present in this moment and you're safe in this moment. I think the first thing to realize is sometimes we can feel that way when we're in a panic about the future or the past. So whenever I get into those cycles where I'm feeling like I'm not reaching a certain goal, or I feel behind, or I'm comparing myself to other people, it's a response from your nervous system. Okay, I'm just going to say that again. It's a response from your nervous system. You might not be regulating your nervous system. And the more you're able to stay present in the moment, the more you're able to come back to yourself. May this be through meditation. May this be through breath work. May this be through EFT tapping. May this be through other forms of nervous system regulation. That's going to help you feel so much better, because oftentimes when we feel like we're not there yet, we're not in a place of that future idealized part of what we're imagining, we're not staying present and we're not appreciating what we currently have and what we've currently built. And I still personally struggle with this too, and I think to remind myself that sometimes my nervous system is reacting, because sometimes I'm feeling as though I'm putting in all this work, I'm putting in all this energy and effort, but I'm not seeing the results just yet. And I think what's really helped me with this too, to continue forward, to continue pushing forward, to not hustle, but to know that I can trust myself, to know that I will get to a better place, a more aligned place, is to remind myself of past situations that I felt the same way, that I was maybe even in a worse situation and I got out of it. And my 10-year-old self would be so proud of me right now. I know this for sure. I know my 10-year-old self would be so happy for me, because I've created essentially my dream life. And yes, there's still so much I want to do, and there's so much I still want to create for myself and build for myself and grow my business and keep helping millions of people. Yet for myself, it's reminding myself that, okay, but this is still a lot better than I could ever imagine. I could never imagine myself as an astrologer working for herself. Yet I was so scared to launch my business in 2020. So recognizing how far I've come really does help me. I need to really sit down, first regulate your nervous system. That's honestly priority until you get to a better place, because again, the reason why you are feeling behind is because you're feeling this lack. And it's still something for me that I have to witness and realize, actually, I have so much to be grateful for. I do have a regular daily gratitude practice, which I recommend to anyone, to just journal what is going right. What are you grateful for? May this be your roof. May this be your fridge. May this be running water. Whatever that may look like to you, that's going to help ground you so much. But also, it's witnessing and realizing that your body might not be feeling safe. So keep this in mind. Understanding and regulating your nervous system is going to be really key for you if you want to shift your perspective. Because yes, you can shift your mindset about a situation and think of past situations of what wasn't working out in the past and now is working out, which is great. But if you're trying to register this with your mindset and not your body, you're going to feel this disconnect. You're going to feel as though, okay, I can see that this is working. I can see that I'm making progress, even if it's slow, even if it's just one step forward. Yet your body might not feel that way. Your body might be trapped in the past, or your body is reacting to past situations that felt unsafe, that felt like you weren't enough or you were unworthy, right? And that's not true. That's not true, right? It's reminding yourself you're worthy, you're safe, you're loved, and getting into a place where you can just feel so happy in the present moment. And this is still something I'm struggling with a lot right now. I'm not gonna lie. And this is still something I'm teaching my BOLDEST mentees because, of course, I want to support them in the process for this too. And I can see it in other people. I can see it very clearly when my mentees or clients are in that state, and then I have to remind them about this because it's a very important thing, especially if you're running a business, because a business is a spiritual pursuit. Running your own business is a spiritual pursuit because you have to have enough self-trust within yourself. You have to have faith in the process. You have to trust the universe. You have to really believe in what you're doing to continue forward, even when you don't see results, even if you feel like things are going backwards. And that is what I have to remind myself a lot, because essentially, progress is not linear. It's not this like even line, okay? It's not this one step process. You take these exact 100 steps and you get to where you want to go. Sometimes you have to take a step back. Sometimes you need to go back, refine, reflect. And I'm saying this too because we're going to have a Mercury retrograde in July. So stay tuned for that. Yet sometimes you have to go back and maybe you're editing or tweaking things. Maybe you're just holding the faith and believing in yourself in a new vibration to get to where you want to go. Not only is the astrology showing us this every single year, because we have retrogrades for a reason. We have retrogrades to show us, okay, you need to rethink some things. Okay, this might not go perfectly, and that's okay. You're still going to be safe. You're still going to get through this. For myself, I've been feeling really behind, especially when I compare myself to certain friends and where I thought I would be at 33. I thought I would be in my dream partnership. I thought I would find my person. And a part of me is disappointed. And the other part of me knows it's coming very soon. So I have to remind myself of this, that there might be a really good reason why I haven't met my romantic partner yet, why I haven't reached a certain level in my business just yet, even though I know I can do it. Because what I've learned from running my own business for over 10 years, because before I was an astrologer, I was a freelance graphic designer, and I had a lot of my own clients. So I've been doing my own thing for over 10 years. And what I've learned from this process is there's always going to be periods where things feel slow or things aren't going the way that I want. And there's always going to be those periods of, why is this happening to me? And I want you to just reflect on this for yourself of, if you're feeling this way, like I am, what's helped me to shift my perspective is reminding myself of things can only go up from here. When there's a low, there is a high. One of my friends says this, when there's a low, there's always going to be a high. And sometimes you have to experience the lows for you to understand and really appreciate the highs. Sometimes it's realizing your body is not able to receive the money you want because you have a certain cap to how much your body is willing to receive. And this is something I help my clients with, because ultimately it's really understanding the tools that you need to use every day to help you expand your capacity to receive more. May this be receiving more money. May this be receiving more love, whatever that looks like for you. And honestly, I love working with my clients one-on-one for this, of course, but I also want to give you some free resources to help you get to that next level. So I highly recommend overnight affirmations because they reprogram your subconscious mind to attract more love, more money, whatever you're looking for into your life, and finding the right affirmations for you that allow you to receive more. I've created some free overnight affirmations for you. You can go check that out down below. I'll leave a link to that in the description box. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe because that really helps me out. And I want you to comment bananas just because I will know if you get to this part of the video. Yet, I hope this just gives you more perspective on why you might be feeling behind, right? And I think a good reminder, even for myself, is understanding that everyone has a different life path. Everyone is leading their own spiritual path. They're learning their own karmic lessons this lifetime. For myself, I did not think that I would be in a place where I'm running my own business, where it's taking quite a bit of time for my partner to find me. Yet, at the same time, I feel so grateful right now to be single. And I'm so grateful that my ancestors fought for women's rights. I have so much freedom living on my own, which is honestly amazing. And it's something where I had to really, really appreciate because I can't even imagine what it must have been like to live in 1942, for example, right? And I want to give that perspective of there's so many blessings that we have in this particular era. And the more we can appreciate that, the more we can come into that feeling of gratitude, that is going to amplify more to come into your life. When it comes to my business, I've realized that I'm really, really good at helping my BOLDEST mentees make those breakthroughs when they are struggling to witness and see how they're stopping themselves, how they are reacting in old patterns, and how to break free from this and create a new identity of the version of yourself to attract those opportunities, to attract more clients, to really focus on what is going well. Because when you're focusing on the wins, when you're focusing on the good, you're going to attract more of that in. That is the law of assumption. When you assume good things are coming into your life, you're going to see more of that. And this is still, again, something I struggle with myself. I'm very honest and real about this. But my current state, which I'm the most proud of and the most grateful for, is I've realized that my current default state is much higher than it was just 2 years ago. What I mean by this is now my default state is, okay, I'm not where I want to be. However, all these things are going right. All these things that I can name and number are going right. And I can see this really quickly. And I catch myself when I get into those moments where I have a low point. And yes, it's important to feel your feelings. Yes, it's important to cry things out if you need to. Yes, it's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to validate how you're feeling. I'm not saying not to do that. But the faster you can get to a place where you're seeing the good in a situation, even if you don't feel that happy at the moment, that changes things immensely. And then you can start to reprogram your subconscious mind. And then you can start to calm your nervous system and get to a place where you're feeling just more excited for what's to come for you, being more optimistic about what's to come. And if you want my support in this, especially for your business, I do have 2 spots left for my Boldest You mentorship. This is for you if you want not only the mindset work, the energetic work, the astrological support, but also the social media strategy and brand strategy support to grow your business, and understanding how they are all connected, how important it is to feel safe, to be seen by more people so that you can help even more people. I'm super, super excited for this. I'm excited to see who the next 2 BOLDEST mentees will be. I'll leave a link to that down below. And let's get into your tarot reading for this week. All right, so the first card out is the Ace of Pentacles reverse. This week, you could be feeling as though you're not fully seeing the financial gain that you were expecting. Maybe you're not feeling worthy or deserving of what you're imagining, or maybe you're feeling as though you're not enough in a capacity. And this is going to be a week where you're going to have to give yourself that self-validation of where you're at and remind yourself you're safe. This is a card where you could want that brand new beginning. You're like, where is it? Where is that new job? Where is that new client? Where is this new amazing opportunity? Yet this is going to be a time to shift your perspective and remind yourself you're safe right now. How can you feel that it can be more fun and easier for you to appreciate where you're at? How can you create more stability and structure in your life to cultivate that safety, to cultivate that comfort, and allow yourself to feel that peace? That's going to change so much for you. The next card out is the Six of Wands reverse. So you might not be feeling as confident as you would like to this week. You could feel like you're not seeing your wins. You could feel as though you're not motivated to do what you love. It's harder for you to express your passion or to be creative, and you're missing that. And I will say I felt the exact same way today, so maybe that's why I pulled this. And it took me 3 hours to start recording this video. So I want to be real and honest with you that yes, it is hard. It can be hard. But reminding yourself that you're going to feel so much better if you just start. How can you calm your nervous system first? And then also ask yourself, how do I know that this is going to make me feel so much better? May this be booking that pottery class. May that be journaling. May that be going with a friend to a party. May that be just doing something creative for yourself. Maybe filming some TikToks, or just watching a movie, or doing something that excites you. How can you know that that's going to make you feel better? Right? Remind yourself of that. Sometimes you just need to start, and that can be the mental game that you're playing. That I don't feel like doing this. I don't have the motivation. I don't have this. Sometimes those are just excuses. Okay? I had to tell myself this. You're making up excuses. What if you knew it's going to make you feel better? And guess what? It's already making me feel better by recording this. So that might be a message you needed to hear. The next card out is the King of Wands. I do feel like the end of the week, you're going to feel more passionate. You're going to feel more inspired. You're going to feel more creative and in a place where you're seeing yourself as this leader. You're standing up and you're realizing, actually, I've got this. Actually, this is a lot more fun than I thought. Actually, I have more power than I think. So I want you to embrace this energy and remind yourself that, yes, sometimes you have to feel this and it's okay to acknowledge this, but you are so close. You are so close to feeling that inspired and motivated and excited again. And sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. Okay? I really sometimes believe that, because the more you're able to assume that you know it's going to make you feel better, and the more you take that action, it's going to feel like it's a normal practice for you. It's going to feel so much easier for you the more you practice it, the more you get into that rhythm. I asked us what our block is this week. We got the Four of Swords. So you could feel drained. You could feel tired. You could feel like overwhelmed. Maybe you're overthinking things. Maybe you are trapped in your head and you're feeling overwhelmed by this. Again, this can be hard. This can be tricky. Yet this card is also speaking on sometimes you need to allow rest. Sometimes you need to take a step back. I know for myself, I took a nap before I started to record this because I needed the rest. I needed to listen to my body. And sometimes we don't know the cues that our body is giving us. Sometimes I want to push through and I have to remind myself, no, I'm going to have more energy if I take this nap. And I do. So you have to play this game with your head. And the more you're able to witness the patterns of your mind, the more you're able to change this for yourself and get into a life that you love even more. Of course, appreciating what you have right now, but getting into a state where you feel really, really good about the actions you're taking and the decisions you're making. And hopefully you feel that way now, but this is going to improve things so much more. I asked what would help us through this, and we got the Queen of Swords. So set some boundaries with people and also cut out the noise, cut out the distractions. I'm really hearing that. Maybe you need to take a scroll break, right? Maybe you need to jump out of it, go for a walk, pattern interrupt, play a song, dance it out, do something different, but also catch yourself and catch your mind of what it's trying to tell you to do and see in which way can you improve to be 1% better every day in terms of those patterns so that you can feel better about where you're at, so that you can feel good with the decisions you're making. Now, your oracle cards are plant a seed and wait. So even if you're not seeing the results just yet, set the intentions, keep doing the work. It will eventually pay off. So you also got rest. This is going to be a week where you need some downtime. Take that break if you need it. Listen to your body. That's so important to do. Last card out is clarity of mind. So I do think that Venus-Uranus conjunction is going to give you a breakthrough, and that's going to really help you with moving forward. But I also see this as if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like your mind is cluttered, make sure you're releasing that. Make sure you are decluttering your mind and putting it out onto paper. May this be journaling, or it could be meditation or breath work to release what's stuck in your body. So I really hope this helped, friend. I really hope it helped. If you want help in growing your wellness or creative business, check out my BOLDEST mentorship program. I'll leave a link to that down below. There's just 2 spots left for the rest of 2025. And if you want to learn astrology from me and learn how to read your birth chart and dive deep into your relationship patterns, career patterns, and family patterns in your birth chart, check out my Astrology Foundations course, Scene Secrets. I do have the waitlist for that out. You can check out the link for that down below, and I'm super, super excited to help you with becoming your own astrologer and learning the skill of astrology that you can use for the rest of your life. Thank you so much for watching, friend. I hope you have an amazing week, and just remember the universe has your back, and with peace and love, take care.